All right, Lucas, taking a look now at your final project, and let's see how you did. So it's an APA. I appreciate your title here. That's good, a little different. And your title page looks very well done. You got the title again here. That's awesome. All right, let's see how you've written this. In today's busy world, that alludes a little bit to the timing, right? So that helps to allude to the historical and cultural context. People often work long hours or focus on school and personal tasks without taking time to rest. The article Take a Break by Nicole Pelosi 2010 addresses, okay, so yeah, that's good. This issue and explains why regular breaks are important for health, focus, and productivity. The topic centers on how short breaks can improve mental health, physical well-being. Pelosi uses a practical, informative genre to give clear advice readers can apply to daily life. This choice allows her to reach a wide audience and provide actionable guidance. Her purpose is to show, okay, so your writing is not terrible, it's not bad, but these things are what I call writing to the rubric. In other words, you're trying, basically, it feels like what you've done here is just said, okay, the rubric says I need to identify the genre. So you literally write the genre. And that's not really what you want to do in the type of essay this is. And it's also why I keep harping. You probably got tired of hearing me say it, how important it is to use the exemplar. But this is the reason why I keep harping on it, because if you look at the exemplar here, you'll see that in the introduction, he basically, in his thesis statement, he says, let's see, where's it at? His thesis statement. He introduces the topic a little bit and here and gives you some ideas about why it's a problem, in this case, AI. Um, and he gives you a little bit of background, and he introduces the article here with the author's name. And then right here is where he begins the thesis statement. And notice how the thesis statement works. It's a single sentence that basically outlines what the rest of the paper is going to look like. So he says, Rose Manier argues for a balance between productivity and downtime, emphasizing the value of productivity and ways to be a productive worker. But although she emphasizes the importance of work-life balance, she does not offer as many ways to truly take a break and improve the personal side of life to create that balance. Then notice here, the very first thing he talks about is that balance between productivity and downtime. So see how that the body follows the outline, the mini outline that is established by the thesis statement. Balance between productivity and downtime, balance between productivity and downtime. And he does that throughout the paper within 3 body paragraphs and then a conclusion, right? So yours doesn't really work that way. It's just simply saying, okay, this is this, that's that, this is this, and that's more of a stream of consciousness type of writing, and that doesn't really work well for an essay here. So you don't really have a solid thesis, and because you don't have that thesis, you don't have really a good guide for how to do your body paragraphs. So even though you do have the topic, you do have the genre, but it's a little too on the nose, I guess you could put it, too on the nose, because you're addressing the rubric rather than the writing it as an essay. Purpose, all these things are there. See, you're saying writes for a general audience. I probably pointed this out for you in my evaluation of your week 5, um, your week 5 version. And it to me, it doesn't look like you really changed it much, or at least not enough. So to make it more aligned with what it should be. So let's see, writes for general audience. So you touch on that, but again, I'm not saying it exceeds, because of the fact that you haven't really written it the way it should be according to the exemplar. So some of these things will meet, but they probably won't exceed. right? Your historical and culture wasn't, you again, you just lay that directly out like this. So I'm gonna have to go back and change that to that, I think, because, again, it's not written really in the form of a good solid, essay. Instead, it's written more as a stream of conscious, just putting your thoughts down. It's almost like it what it looks to me like as your teacher, what it looks to me like as the as an instructor, is that basically you create a list of all the answers to these questions, these prompts, in the rubric, and then just put them into paragraphs. That's kind of what it looks like, and obviously that's not what we're looking for. We That's why we provide the exemplar, because it really shows you how to translate all of this into a great essay. So all those things are there. They're just a little bit not quite. They're a little too on the nose, like I said. Um, Here you do provide a detail and a quote to back that detail up. But that's it. That's all you have is one detail. If you look in the, I'm not going to pull it up again, but if you look in the exemplar, there's details in all of the three body paragraphs. It's along with quotes. So there's probably like four source citations and details in the sample, in the exemplar, but you've only got really one here. So that's definitely going to hurt that a bit. All right, so let's see how you did with your translation to a new audience. Your new audience, okay, using the exemplar, you would have seen there should have been a lot more detail to your identification of your new audience. Um, the exemplar shows you uh, that it's basically a full paragraph introduction to your new audience, right? Not just a single 2 words. So that's a little bit of an issue. That's going to cost you there some. So let's see what you did with your second. Managers have an important job because they guide employees and help set the pace of the workplace. The article Take a Break by Nicole Pelusi explains why short breaks during the day help focus better, stress less, and stay productive. Now that would have been closer to a thesis statement, actually, right there. This information is useful for managers because it shows how simple breaks can improve work quality. So all right, so your introduction here is a bit shorter, but actually is a little bit, in some ways, is a little bit better because it actually it sort of lines up your body paragraphs maybe a little bit better. But the audience needs is there, but I think it could be a little stronger. Um, Pelusi writes in a clear and simple style so that her advice is easy to follow. Her purpose is to explain that, okay, so you go into purpose and audience again. That looks like or purpose. Said they help workers regain energy and return to tasks. And Pelusi explains that breaks let the mind reset and regain. So there you have a detail and a quote. So that's good. Dates, just as a reminder for future reference, whenever you're using APA, the year always should come right after the author's names. So this should say Pelusi and then in parentheses 2010. And the only thing that should be in here is just the page number. So that's just something to remember for future reference. Okay. Okay, you're providing some details here. That's good. Your writing situation, I think, is better in this one than it was in the first version. But this one again is pretty short, pretty brief. Um, Conclusion doesn't look too bad. So yeah, these things are, you've done a fair job here with the end. A tiny bit better, I think, than you did with the part one. Writing conventions, fair. Communication is, your communication, I think, is fine. Citations, uh, yeah, they're okay. They're fair. So, it's almost brings you up to a B, um, but not quite. So that's, So that's, you know what, I feel like you earn more of more like a B. So let's change this up and bring it up to a B. There we go. All right, now you got a B. I feel like you earned a B more so than a C. So good job with this overall. And if you have any questions, see, this does not have a full. This isn't whatever. This should be a fuller uh, citation here, and references should be in the center. Should not have that's minor stuff though. We'll keep it the way I put it. So, all right. So, good job overall. Very good job overall. Just remember for future reference, whenever you're given in any kind of classes, if you're given exemplars, you really, really should use those. Okay. I don't know if any other courses do even use exemplars beyond writing classes, but if they are provided, they are something really important to use. So that'll do it for this video. And if you have any questions, as always, just let me know.